Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Deep Sea Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for Post Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1. We got a lot of Deep Sea support with the release of Eternity Code a couple years ago, and we also have the new Deep Sea repertoire in the latest Hidden Arsenal Chapter 1 set, adding to the entire Deep Sea archetype as a whole. So I wanted to do a deck profile that focuses on all the different Deep Sea monsters we have, from the original Deep Sea Diva to all the new support we've gotten up until now. It's a really fun deck. It does need a little more added water support to make it fully playable. Decided to go with more of the Mermail lineup to assist with the added plays you can do with the deck, until maybe one day we'll get enough support that you can just use all the different Deep Sea monsters we have for a more pure build of the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Deep Sea monsters, we are running 3 Deep Sea Diva. This is definitely one of your go-to monsters in the deck. When it's normal summon, you can special summon one level 3 or lower Sea Serpent monster from your deck. So this gains you access to all the other Deep Sea monsters that we run in the deck. They are all level 3 or lower Deep Sea, Sea Serpent monsters. So no restriction with any of those special summons, with one of them being the Deep Sea Minstrel. You can discard this card and one water monster to look at your opponent's hand and banish one card from their hand face up until the end phase. If this card is special summon, you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, then target one level 4 lower water monster in your graveyard except for Deep Sea Minstrel and place it on the top or bottom of your deck. You can only use each effect of Deep Sea Minstrel once per turn. So this card just gains more added power when you can special summon it off of Deep Sea Diva. Remember, they are both tuners, so you can't use them both for a synchro play, sadly, but you can still have that set up with Deep Sea Minstrel being able to then have the special summon option to send and set up more cards for your graveyard with your water monsters and anything else you may set up in there. The next Deep Sea monster that I run is Deep Sea Sentry. With this card, if it's sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can make your opponent banish one card from their hand face up until the end phase. If this card is special summon, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard and target one level 4 lower water monster in your graveyard except Deep Sea Sentry and add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Deep Sea Sentry once per turn. So once again, going off of more of the Deep Sea plays with Deep Sea Minstrel, being able to send Sentry from your deck to the graveyard to then banish another additional card. You have more and more set up with all of these monsters, being able to just take away cards from your opponent's hand, shut down any hand traps that they may use to stop any of your bigger extra deck plays. They all work very well together. And not only that, but you have an extra deck play right then and there with Deep Sea Sentry being able to be special summoned off of cards like Deep Sea Diva. The last of the Deep Sea monsters that we run is Deep Sea Artisan. When I say the last one we run, this is also just the last of the Deep Sea monsters for the main deck. If this card is added from the deck or graveyard to your hand by the effect of a water monster, you can reveal this card, look at your opponent's hand, and if this card is special summoned, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, then target one level 4 lower water monster in your graveyard except for Deep Sea Artisan and special summon it but negate its effects. You can only use each effect of Deep Sea Artisan once per turn. So once again, another option from the deck or graveyard to the hand by a card effect, working with all the recycle power that the other Deep Sea monsters provide. Being a level 1 non-tuner also makes it very adjustable with the other monsters that we run in the deck to go into our Deep Sea synchros, whether it be Deep Sea repertoire or our Deep Sea prima donna. The other added support that I am running in the deck, I run 3 Mermail Abystius and 3 Mermail Abyss Megalo. You don't get the search, sadly, for them since they search out Mermail monsters, but I like running them just as the additional special summon power with the deck. Being able to discard 2 other water monsters to special summon Abyss Megalo and discarding 1 other monster to special summon Abystius. And with your option with Abyss Megalo, you can tribute 1 other attack position monster, and this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. And having both of them be level 7 monsters, they're adjustable with the level 2 tuners in our deck to summon out some of the bigger synchro monsters that I run in the extra deck, including cards like the Ravenous Croco Dragon Archithis for those synchro summons. And that is it for the main deck monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. I run 3 of the Deep Sea Araya. You can banish 1 water monster from your graveyard to add 1 level 4 lower sea serpent monster from your deck to your hand. You can activate 1 Deep Sea Araya per turn. So you need to normal summon Deep Sea Diva to use her special summon effect. So having this card add to your hand normal summon is your best go-to way to utilize this card, or any of the other search, whether it be the banish power with Minstrel, or just setting up another Deep Sea monster in your hand to summon out onto the field. 3 Araya is definitely staple, because then you can also set up the water monsters with the Mermail lineup in your graveyard to then banish as a resource after you use them to special summon out those bigger monsters. And I also run 3 Magallanica, the Deep Sea City. This card's always treated as Umi, and when this card is activated, you can place 1 water monster from your deck on the top of your deck. And once per turn, you can target 1 water monster you control, increase its level by 1 or 2 until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. And once per turn during your main phase, if you special summon a water synchro monster, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish 1 card from it face up until the end phase. So the biggest problem that you might have also noticed is the low levels with all of your different deep sea monsters, and also the fact that Minstrel and Diva are the 2 tuners. They don't work well together for the synchro plays, obviously, but being able to raise the levels of those monsters, of any water monsters you control, helps to then go into the appropriate monster plays for all of your deep sea monsters. So activating your Deep Sea City is very, very important, but being also Umi, well, traded on the field as well, gives you plays to use other cards, including the option for the setup of Fury of Karyushin to then set up Torrential on the field for more of those plays. And for more of the draw and recycle power, I also run 2 Moray of Greed and 2 Salvage. The Salvage is to help add water monsters back from your graveyard to your hand with Deep Sea Diva, just being 200 attack. It's an easy recycle back to your hand. Or even Deep Sea Minstrel, since this card says you can discard it and 1 water monster, look at your opponent's hand and banish 1 card. So if you do the option for discarding the 2 cards from your hand, you can at least then add them back with Salvage and then use them for their more potential on the field along with the banish. And then Moray of Greed, if you have, let's say, too many of the big or higher level water monsters, you can at least recycle them and hope to draw some of the other deep sea monsters. And I also run 2 of the Fury of Karyushin. With this card, you add 1 Torrential Tribute from your deck to your hand. And if a water monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. A more protective card of a lot of our extra deck, along with our main deck monsters, but being able to just add a very useful board clearing trap card from our deck to our hand is just an added plus. And for some of the one-ofs, I run 1 Foolish Barrel. I run the Foolish Barrel for being able to have more setup with Deep Sea Araya, just as an add option if we don't open up any of our other Mermail monsters. The 1 for 1 for summoning out our Deep Sea Artisan onto the field. And also 1 Monster Reborn is just an added extender for resources. And the 1 Terraforming for searching out the very important Magallanica, the Deep Sea City. And then as for the traps, I am running 3 Torrential Tribute, just as more of a board protection card. And also it's searchable, like I said earlier, with Rage of Karyushin. And lastly, the 3 Infinite Impermanence, just as my, I would say, hand trap of choice. I didn't run Ash Blossom in the deck. I wanted to focus more on the reveals that you do with cards like Minstrel, not being able to hit any of the non-water monsters that I may potentially send, and decide just to go with the trap lineup instead. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I'm running 2 of the Deep Sea Repertoire. You need 1 Deep Sea Diva and 1 non-tuner monster to make this card. So just remember that with your repertoire, it can't use your Deep Sea Minstrel, sadly, but you do have the option with Diva, and then the also additional play of either Sentry or your Artisan to summon onto the field, and then raise their levels with Magallanica to then go for this synchro play. With this card, once per turn, quick effect, you can discard 1 level 4 lower water monster. This card gains 800 attack until the end of this turn. And if this synchro summon card is sent to your graveyard, you can target 1 level 5 or higher water monster in your graveyard except for Deep Sea Repertoire, special summon it in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except for water monsters. Having our level 5 or higher monsters be the Mermail engine that I ran in the deck as well. With our next synchro monster also being a potential monster to special summon back with repertoire, being Deep Sea Prima Donna. Needing 1 tuner tuner and 1 non-tuner. This can be summoned off of Minstrel, and Minstrel can use Sentry as the additional raise 2 levels to summon out this card onto the field. And with it, your opponent cannot target a synchro monster that was used as material with a monster for effects. Also, each of the following effects of Deep Sea Prima Donna, once per turn, you can target one of your opponent's banished cards that add it to your hand, or special summon 1 level 4 lower water monster from your deck to your hand if you add that target to their hand. Or if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one banished card, shuffle it into the deck. So taking away those resources that you took and banished, because otherwise they would get back at the end of the turn, or just giving you that resource depending on what you banished to then use for yourself. I also run the 1 Ravenous Croco Dragon Archithis for the additional power plays in the deck. And also 1 Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier. It is a Sea Serpent along with a higher level monster that you can summon out. 1 Gungnir for the additional destruction, and Deloran for the other level 6 synchro plays, along with 1 Herald of the Arclight. This is to have a synchro play if you don't have the field spell to summon out Deep Sea Diva, going then for the summon of Deep Sea Sentry, and then at least you have a negation against your opponent's cards, with the last synchro being the 1 Borreload Savage Dragon. If you want to run Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon instead, because Deep Sea Prima Donna is a synchro tuner, you can use it along with the level 1 Deep Sea monster that you run in the deck to summon that out that way. But I prefer Borreload Savage Dragon because it goes well with the Link monsters we are running, which are 2 Star Boys, just for more of the water plays. And once again, just a 1 card go into with Deep Sea Diva. And also 1 Area of the Water Charmer Gentle, 1 Marine Cess Coral Anemone, and the 1 Link Karibo. This can help to go into the Artisan play, which then you can go into Link Karibo with this summon, and then have a water monster at least in your graveyard to banish for your Deep Sea Araya. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, the Deep Sea Diva is definitely one of your most important cards for those plays. Just summoning out this card gives you access to a wide variety of plays. If you summon out the Deep Sea Artisan onto the field, then it gives you the play, which once again, the field spell is very important because it'll raise the level of once per turn a water monster you control. So you can either increase the level of Deep Sea Diva or the Artisan, and then you have your level 5 synchro play right there into repertoire. And also being a synchro tuner monster, you can use repertoire with one of your other deep sea monsters, including your Deep Sea Sentry, to then go into the next synchro monster in lineup, which is your Deep Sea Prima Donna. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. Like I said, I didn't plan on making the Deep Sea Diva deck, but after seeing the new synchro monster and definitely having a love for all the support we've gotten from Eternity Code for the Deep Sea monsters, I was definitely happy with the results of the deck profile. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.